A very good morning, I bid to my dear guests. So, for today's forum discussion, I shall be your moderator. So, before us begin about this forum discussion, so shall we have our guests to introduce themselves briefly?
Hi, my name is Tan Yin Yo. I'm the graduate from the AMS University. The course that I take is the Bachelor in Physical Therapy.
My name is Ng Ming Zan. I am his dad. I am currently working in educational department in government.
Hi, my name is Meng Ziming and I just finished my SPM Sijil Pelajar Malaysia in 2018.
My name is Lei Kang. I am the lecturer of AMS University and in the subject of biomechanics.
I'm Lin Jiawen. I'm currently pursuing Master in Educational Research in AMS University.
Okay, so let me welcome you guys again to today's forum discussion. So, before we begin, let me introduce today's topic. So, our forum's topic for today will be the Malaysian educational system. Okay, so in this era of globalization, we know that the education of Malaysia has gone through extensive changes throughout this year. So, I believe these constant changes, they are made because of one aim and one objective itself. It is to continuously improve the teaching and learning procedures of the school, the colleges, and also the universities. So, although our government has put in effort in reform the educational system always, however, I find out that Malaysians nowadays they are not satisfied with their education. They have started to have the need to compare themselves, the educational system themselves, and the another countries. So, according to the National Higher Education Ranking of 2018, Malaysia is ranked 25th out of 50 countries around the world for its educational system, which means that we are in the 25th place out of all those 50 places to have a good educational system. So, I believe that now you guys have already a little idea, a little insight, a little grasp of the issue and the topic that we are going to discuss today. So, can you guys voice out your own ideas regarding this topic?
Yes, sure. For my opinion, education system in Malaysia certainly doesn't prepare the students to face the corporate life. The budget allocated from education sector is increased annually, but nothing changes. It is not a matter of allocation anymore. The biggest role here is the execution. Teachers must be able to inspire the students to think out of the box. Students must not be left out for leadership roles. They must be given the freedom to realize their real talents to contribute to the society. By changing the mindset of the young generation in the early stage, they would know their purpose to work on what they want to contribute in the future.
So, I believe that you, Professor Bear, are trying to tell us that the educational system of Malaysia tend to be a little too rigid. Yeah, am I right?
Yes.
Alright. So, does anyone have their own ideas besides Professor Bear?
I was a student who just finished my secondary school in 2018 and I think that Malaysia education system is not effective, as Malaysia education system is more than memorizing than understanding, and the way to Malaysia students study is they will just like a robot, and they will spend like an hours in memorizing all the words in the textbook and vomit out during the test. One of my friends who was now pursuing his study in United Kingdom, he figured out that the way he study is more stressful compared to foreigner. As foreigner, they prefer to understanding than memorizing. And one of the disadvantages of memorizing is our memory will be forgotten. Our information will be forgotten in one day. And without the understanding and the concept, we can't recover the information.
I believe what are you trying to convey is that Malaysian students, they tend to stress themselves while memorizing.
Yeah.
So it results them not having fun in their process of learning. Am I right?
Yeah.
Alright.
Then from my point of view, the problem of educational system in Malaysia is that the students are too exam oriented. Due to the societal pressure, the result is the sole indicator of determining the student performance in the school. For many innocent students in Malaysia, education means scoring the test paper, aiming for higher number of A's, and of course, acquiring more knowledge for the exam. For example, the parents and relatives like to compare their own children's results with the number of A's in the result slip and or how much salary they can make per month.
So, Ms. Jiawen, Professor Bear and Ziming. So I believe three of you have a rather negative approach towards this matter. So besides like this, is Malaysia's education system all cons and no benefits? Does anyone have a positive reinforcement to this?
I am disagree with what they say. I think that exam is just a part of the learning process, and it is very necessary because it provide the knowledge to the skill so we can apply. For example, when I was studying in Ames University in OSPI, we are urged to have the knowledge before to answer the question. So I think that is very important.
Yes, I clearly agree with what he's saying. As an employee that's working under the government, I can clearly see that for Malaysia as a developing country, the government is doing their best to improvise the educational system. So, for the past few years, there are various of changes that made by the government, and the parents are quite satisfied. For example, the government have newly introduced TOTS, which is high order thinking skills. So by not only you must know the knowledge, you must memorize the knowledge, but also you must think realistically and logically in order to answer the question in the exam.
Alright. So besides, so after their ideas by Mr. Ningzan and Mr. Ang, so I believe that there are also positive ideas or positive points which brings out the benefits of Malaysia educational system. So do you guys agree to their views?
I'm quite agree with both of your ideas, but in Malaysia, there is too much focus on the academic performance among the students. They are leading to an exam-oriented approach as a measure of intelligence of the students in school or in university as well. The lack of clear teaching objective that should have defined clearly because it makes the learning program become foggier. But not only the students, teachers who were tasked to try and underline structure to the syllabus. When students facing an exam, there is too less critical thinking included in the question that they should be answered. Student only needs to spend hours to absorb every words in the slide and not using their knowledge that should be learned in for those chapters. Next, for those generations of students who are using this type of learning system, will also unable to think critically on issues when facing it. When they
I'm sorry to interrupt, but however, judging from the results that are being given by the Malaysian examination, such as SPM Sijil Pelajaran Malaysia, I find out that actually our results are rather good. Because do you think it might happen or occur barely solely because of them memorizing for the examination?
yes,
So yeah, that's
Have you ever heard of teacher center learning? Is where the teacher will talk and the student will listen. This kind of approach has made students who can read or write well but cannot communicate with the people around them. The problem usually happens to the people who learn the second language such as English. The educational system in Malaysia usually taught students to read and write first before they start to talk. This kind of approach is actually very bad. Have you ever wondered why you can speak your native language such as Malay, Tamil or Mandarin so well? This is because you use the language in most conversation. For example, I know some of my friends cannot write or read the Chinese word, but they can communicate well with their Chinese friends. Perhaps I suggest that the government to start the oral test and listening test even in primary school as part of the curriculum.
so. I believe what is meant by Miss Jiawen is that they tend to understand a language or a topic without fully conveying the meaning. Am I right about this?
Yes.
Alright.
Besides that, I think that teaching method also one of the fact that make our education system ineffective. Currently, there are still many teachers who prefer old and boring teaching methods. I once had a teacher who punished a student which was using a different but more effective method in doing her test. The teacher has deducted close to 20 points on the student paper, although the student answer is correct, just because the student didn't follow the method that she taught. The student nearly failed her mathematics test and he also lost his confidence for his maths. Now it's been 2019. Time has changed and I think it is time for the teacher to change as well to their stubborn mindset.
I slightly disagree with what you say because the teacher that deduct your 20 marks is just not flexible enough. In my opinion, I think when I was studying in MC University, my lecturer is very flexible and open-minded in accepting all our ideas. So I think that this is just a simple case cannot be considered. And now, Ministry of Education also hire many lecturers from other countries, such as M University has hired lecturer from India. The lecturer from India teaching style is very interesting and effective and make us more interest to that subject.
Yeah, from your point, I can clearly know that why the government is hiring the teacher from the foreign country is to improvise our educational system and make it more interesting in studying. So other than that, I am slightly disagree with Ms. Jiawen, I guess. So from the newest information I get is the government is not only focused on the academic but also focused on the core curriculum. If the student can't accumulate enough points from the core curriculum, is not eligible to enter the desired university.
So, I know that co-curriculum has been introduced to balance to let to balance between the academic and the co-curricular. But how is it that co-curricular activity can help in an education of a student in Malaysia?
Oh yeah, for that, for example, the government can, or the school can introduce outdoor activities such as quiz and debate. The outdoor means is the school will form a group, and then the group will go to compete with the other school. So not only they can learn communication with other pupils, but they can make a new approach to the knowledge other than the syllabus in the school.
So by competitions among the schools, so you believe that the students will apply their knowledge more?
Yes.
So is there any more examples besides debate or quiz club alone?
Yes, I was the ex-member of the Scout. We are learning how to tie the knots, and tie the knots can really apply in the life.
Oh, so tying the knot. From what subject do you think it's from?
Maybe cabbage, kemahiran.
Oh, Khmer, social skills of life. Yeah. Okay.
Another problem I see within the more students in Malaysia is that the student lack of leadership element. This element cannot acquire through class unless the leadership role is taken by the student. This is why the role of class rep, secretary and treasurer exists even in primary school. However, how many students are able to take up this role? I can say not so many. The example of the student lack of leadership element is that when the teacher asks question, the student feels scared and do not answer the question. Especially for those forum events, there will be a Q&A at the end of the session. Not only for the student, even the working adult will put their heads down. It shows that they does not taking up the initiative to take on this role in answering the question.
I beg to defer to your opinion. It is because, as they have said earlier, they have clubs and co-curricular activities and introduced by the government with the sole reason to let them present themselves. In addition, have you ever heard of this system called the mentor-mentee system? These systems, it subconsciously allows the students and teachers to communicate with each other one-to-one. So these systems will counter your point, your view, by saying that by communication between the teachers and the students one-to-one, it will allow the students to tell them about their problem, to present their shyness, at the same time how to counter their own problem. So, do we still have any points regarding this term or this issue?
Yes, I was might say from my AIMS University, I'm from the AIMS University lecturer. I know some information from local lecturers. They told us the students in the AIMS mostly they can read and they can see, but they can't observe it and they can't use the knowledge that they should learn in the lecture. So these are the main problems they are facing, and until today about the education system in Malaysia, although until they are in university.
So, do you agree to his view? As a master student, do you find out the same reason while you are pursuing a study, maybe in degree or secondary school? Do you find out that the same problem you face as what Professor Beck said?
Yes.
So, I believe that actually the education system in Malaysia have both of its pros and cons. However, we have to believe that our government is trying as hard as possible, with continuous effort, trying to implement new systems to make our learning and teaching process more interesting. So we must put our faith on the government so that our educational system could continuously improve. So in the end of this forum discussion, I would like to stress that the Malaysian educational system will one day and soon become one of the most top educational systems around the world. So thank you again, my dear guests, for joining today's forum discussion, and we shall meet again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.